Welcome back to the first intermission report. Jake Levin alongside James Luongo, assistant coach and goaltender coach of the Marshfield Rams, the 4-3 winners of Game 1 of our doubleheader tonight, the Super 8 play-in game. So Marshfield is batting 1,000 as a Super 8 team. They're 1-for-1. James, take us through the comeback. You guys are down 3-0, and you're not playing like you're down 3-0 necessarily, but 3-0's 3-0, and you guys, your backs are against the wall and then some.
Yeah, you know, we knew we had to have the first one. They have an excellent power play. We kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball, giving up 2 power play goals. I think both of them were within 8 seconds, so, you know, not exactly we drew up the kill. You know what, and then I think Nick Young actually made a couple of gigantic saves for us to kind of stem the tide, give us some confidence back. Knew we had to have one before the period was over, and we were lucky enough to get the one. You know, the team believed. We kind of rebuilt off of that, and we came out and played a good third.
So we're talking about timeout usage over the course of that game. Really, we've been talking about timeout usage over the last couple of weeks in general. And Dan Connolly, the head coach of Marshfield, takes his timeout after that third Austin Prep goal. Hindsight's 20/20 now, but obviously it seems like that was one of the best timeouts he's ever taken.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd probably agree with you on that too, Jake. You know, it was a positive, you know, thing. We talked to the guys. We were down, 3-1 last week. We've been down a bunch this season. We get a lot of, you know, good leaders in that room, a lot of good guys that, you know, work really, really hard, and, you know, they really, you know, they believe in each other, they believe in themselves. So I think, you know, Coach took that time out, settled them down. You know, just, you know what, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's not try to get all 3 at once. We got to have one. Made it very, very simple. We got to have one here before it's over. You know, just believe in yourself, stick to the system. You know, do all the little things, a little bit of fine tuning. I think once we settled down, our passes got a little bit crisper. You know, much more tape to tape. We did a better job of getting out, and we kind of composed ourselves. Got a big goal, and then we went off from there. You know, regrouped after the second as well, and then came out and played a really good third.
He's James Luongo, assistant coach of the Marshfield Rams. James, one of the beauties of the Super 8 play-in game is that if you lose, your season's not over. But you guys can't let that thought enter your head even when you're down 3-0, right?
No, I mean, obviously, you know, it's a great opportunity you got up here, especially for our program. You know, try to be one of the flagship programs. There's, you know, schools like Arlington and Hingham, for instance, that are already, you know, in the top 6 secured, nice and easy for them. They get a week off to, you know, fine-tune some stuff. They knew who their matchup was with. But, you know, they're some of the perennial, you know, best teams in the state year after year for Publix, and that's who we have to try to, you know, get our program on par with. So with that, you know, I think that you know, the boys were up for this game. They were really, really, you know, excited to have the opportunity. And we talked all week about, you know, Austin Prep, and then when we beat Austin Prep, Malden Catholic. But we get through Austin Prep first. You know, it wasn't anything disrespectful to them. I think it was just the attitude that we had to have as a team. I think if we thought about Division I South and dropping in, I don't think we would have had the attitude, the focus to, you know, probably have that comeback. Guys are really, really focused on just trying to win hockey games. You know what? It's a tournament. We treat it like it's a one and done. You're going to win when it's tournament time, and I think that's kind of the way we've always gone about it. We don't know any other way, Jake. We've never been here, so we've never had a win and you continue playing on in the tournament before. So maybe as a coaching staff, that's really the only way we knew how to do it, and the guys really bought in, and they, you know, they worked hard this week to get prepared.
So it goes without saying, you guys have validated the selection of Marshfield into the Super 8. I think what a lot of people may not realize, Marshfield actually won more games versus playoff teams than Austin Prep did this season. They each had 2 losses each, you guys, to Hingham and Arlington. Of course, no shame there. Marshfield was 10-2-2. Austin Prep was 7-2-2. But how do you turn that validation, that mere validation, into a, I can't believe we ever considered leaving these guys out of the field?
You know what? It's a tough, you know, it's a tough situation for everybody. You get a bunch of really, really good teams that all have similar resumes. And you know what? You get a team like St. John's Prep who plays in the Catholic Conference. I mean, they play the iron in their league. You know, it's the best league in the state for a reason. They're consistently great. They're consistently well represented in the tournament. And, you know, and even just to get mentioned with teams like Malden Catholic, St. John's Prep, Hingham, Arlington, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not leaving anybody out of disrespect, but I don't want to be long-winded. You know what? I think that you know, you're flattered as a team, you're flattered as a program that you get mentioned with those guys. And then selection process is tough. A lot of guys have, you know, really, really nice resumes when they get to that meeting. For us, it was, you know what? We went out, we had a really, you know, tough loss against Arlington that we thought we played probably our best hockey game to date at that point. Lost 3-2, and then you know, really, really struggled a little bit with Franklin. Had a down period in the second when they jumped all over us. You know, really, really good hockey team, and we showed a lot of guts and battled back. I think our kids knew it was on the line in that game, and then took care of Needham in the finals of the Melchiono. So, I think that our guys knew it was on the line. I think we knew that we had to put a resume that was pretty stellar out there to have a chance with so many other good teams. Andover, the Prep, as I mentioned, kind of contending for that same spot with us. Burlington, who made a really nice late season push out of the Middlesex, who's been in the tournament and they've won playing games and they've been successful. So, sometimes you don't know how the committee's thinking. A team like that, Coach Conceition does a great job, and maybe you think that a team like that sneaks in, winning 8 or 9 straight down the end, and with their pedigree, maybe they get a chance. So I think we knew that we had to put together a stellar resume, and I think we were lucky enough to do that. And obviously, you feel validated as a coaching staff and a team and as a program to maybe reward the committee with having some faith in you for a season that some people may have thought was maybe a little bit below some of the other teams, but you get in there, and we played 45 really, really good minutes of hockey today against a really, really good Austin Prep team, and we got the 2 points we needed to move on and face Malden Catholic. So validation's nice. More for us, it's seeing how the reward for the kids, how hard they worked this week to get prepared, and they really embraced the challenge and they stepped up to it.
He's James Luongo, assistant coach of the Marshfield Rams. Real quick before I let you go, as the teams are about to retake the ice, thoughts on this game so far? Walpole and CM 0-0, but it shots 11-5 in favor of the Rebels.
You know what? The Rebels came out early. They had a really, really good jump, and then CM had 3 or 4, 5, maybe even 5 minutes of that period in the middle frame where they just they took it to them a little bit. They stayed composed. Corcoran made a bunch of great saves, and kind of settled his team back down. Been a really, really good end-to-end game. Both sets of defense, make really, really good outlet passes. CM's really, really good in the forecheck. They're tough to break out against. So I think you're seeing the strengths of both teams kind of, coming to fruition here. I think, the Rebels, tough for them. They thought they scored a goal there. Big boost for them.
Still trying to figure out what happened there.
I thought maybe the net was off. I wasn't sure from my vantage point, but, you're going to see how they respond now. It's a tough thing to bounce back from, but, I'm just looking forward to seeing 2 more great periods of hockey. Both of these teams are phenomenal, and, really, really, really talented, really, really deep, good goaltenders, strong D, really talented forward. So I'm looking forward to 2 more really, really good periods here, and we'll have to see. It might be the team who strikes first the way both of these teams, defend.
It could be. Walpole, of course, 13 shutouts in the regular season. James Corcoran posted all of them, allowed only 11 goals. One of these 2 teams, Walpole or CM, is going to join this team, Marshfield, in the Super 8. The other team will go back down to the Division I South Tournament. James, as always, friend of the program, thank you so much for coming on.
Jake, thanks. It's a pleasure. Really enjoying being here, and it's nice to do an interview after a strong 2 points and a great showing by the boys. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, James and the Rams coming back from a 4-3 deficit. So I don't think we're even going to take a break here. Paul McNamara is going to come right back and rejoin us in Rebels Night, the second stanza. Coming back, Paul Mack, the man of the people that he is, can ever get back here on MyHockeyLive.com on the NFHS Network. James, thanks again.
Thanks, Jake. Pleasure.